The time is now 5:52 on this Thursday morning, and here's what you need to know before you go.
We have new reaction this morning after the arrest of northern Minnesota Senator Justin Eichhorn. It comes after new details were released on Wednesday about his alleged solicitation of a minor. The Republican from Grand Rapids is federally charged with a felony count of hiring a minor for prostitution. Police say Eichhorn was caught in an undercover operation carried out by Bloomington police. As part of the operation, the officers said they were 17 years old. Over the course of the next 5 days, Eichhorn had asked for the officer's age 2 more times and then proceeded to ask for pictures. On Monday, the police made a plan with Eichhorn, telling him where and when to meet up. When he arrived Tuesday, they arrested him. Republicans say they plan to make a motion this morning to expel Senator Eichhorn from the Senate.
A jury has found the ringleader of a massive pandemic fraud case in Minnesota guilty on all counts of her role in a scheme. Amy Bach was the founder of Feeding Our Future, a group that prosecutors say stole $250 million from a program meant to feed children in need. She was one of 70 defendants charged in the case. Prosecutors say the group falsified documents and exploited the pandemic to enrich themselves, with Bach collecting roughly $2 million. The Minnesota case, which is one of the largest fraud cases against COVID-19 relief programs in the country, has also drawn attention for an attempt to bribe a juror during trial.
It was a day filled with joy in books as Proctor High School held an open house for their brand new library. About a decade ago, the Proctor School District felt schooling was heading in the direction of one-to-one digital learning and no longer needed a library, so they closed it down. Now, with the help of the administration, staff, and students, the new library is open next to the Cultural Center, featuring books and games. And a highlight of the new space is a mural of a birch tree forest on the back wall. The artist Barbara Steen is a former teacher at Proctor for more than 2 decades.
It's Minnesota Food Share Month, and the Duluth community is bringing back a donation drive based off a crude comment. The idea for the drive came after a comment made by billionaire Kathy Cargill after questions about her property purchases on Park Point last year. She had said that Mayor Roger Reiner, quote, peed in his Cheerios. That comment inspired community members to donate Cheerios and other non-perishable food items to local nonprofits. Returning this year, the Duluth Cheerio Challenge is accepting donations from March 24th through the 28th at Duluth Labor Temple. The donations drive raised more than $50,000 last year and collected more than 800 boxes of cereal.
John Werner of Rice Lake was an important friend and loyal supporter of the Veterans Memorial Hall in Duluth. Werner passed away in 2023, and now the hall keeps his name alive with the Memorial 5K race. It is one of the main ways Veterans Memorial Hall raises money to stay open and repair last year's flood damage. The 2025 Memorial Fun Run will hit the pavement on Saturday, June 14th at the Other Place Bar on Calvary Road on the border between Duluth and Rice Lake. We've got more information on how you can sign up on our website.
A tribute band for the Swedish pop group ABBA is headed to the deck later this year. Mania the ABBA Tribute has played more than 3,000 live concerts in more than 35 countries. The group brings the fun of ABBA to millions of fans through costumes, dancing, and music. Now, this tour will stop at the Deck Symphony Hall on Thursday, October 16th. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m.